Howdy, folks. What's going on? This is the Outlaw Hatfield back at you one more time. I got bored, so I figured I'd start one of these things up today. Didn't seem like anything else was going on at the time, so hey, Clover, what's going on, buddy? How's it hanging? If anybody wants in here, I'm going to be posting the link over on the gun channel side, so jump on in. It is there for anybody who wants it. You ain't got no plans, nothing going on. I was just sitting around being bored, so I figured, what the hell? I'll start one up, see what happens. And Clover, I will do you a favor and shoot you a link if you'd like to join. It has definitely been a while since you have graced one of my chats. What kind of videos are you working on, brother? Anything important? And we all get behind when it comes to that, believe me. Hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to be putting out some shooting videos from PSA. I will have access to a range, so I figure I might as well use it. Of course, I'll have to figure out what they allow and what they don't. So, you know, that's something I have never been able to do is shoot a bow. Just, I've never been able to do it. I've tried, and I've beat my poor arm to death doing it. I mean, even with those little sight thingies that you got hanging off the front end, I can't get shit. I'll stick with rifles, shotguns, and pistols. Yeah, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm holding the bow wrong or I'm not setting the string up in the right spot on my cheek or whatever. I had a friend of mine actually give me a bow years ago, and I sat out there for, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks trying to actually hit something with that damn thing. I had a big refrigerator box that I'd put a simulated target on, and I was hitting everywhere but the target, with a few that flew over it and some that hit short. So finally I just said, no, my arm can't handle no more. I'm done. It's hard to believe you're the only one out there at this time of day. Maybe everybody's at the shooting range. I don't think there's another show going on. Rick's was about an hour ago, hour and a half. So I do not know what's going on or where everybody's at. Well, he's got it posted over on Gun Channels. I thought he had already done it. That's why I went ahead and went live. I didn't think he'd already done his show. Or I thought he had already done his show. Yeah, I guess he starts in about an hour. He just posted it up early. So I'm not going to cork him. I'll end this before he starts. I just was bored. Yeah, I was thinking that if I'm going to get into archery ever again or try to get back into it, I'm just going to buy myself a crossbow and cheat. I'm figuring that would be an easier way to go about it. Slap a scope on it and hope for the best. Maybe if it's got a trigger and a stock on it, I can hit something. Well, we got 4 people watching out there now. Guys, I can't see who you are unless you say something. Yeah. Well, I have no experience with crossbows at all, so I don't know how loud they are. I'm just take your word for it. Hey, Pants, how you doing? He's over on the Gun Channel side listening in. Pants, there's a link there if you want to jump in, bro. You know, it would seem to me that with a bow or a crossbow, you have to deal with a little more drop, wouldn't you? So you'd have to aim just a little higher than what you normally would with a regular rifle or something. Believe me, folks, I am no expert when it comes to that sort of thing. I do the orientation Tuesday, Tread. I got to be there at 8 a.m. That means I got to leave the house before 6. So it's going to be a real early morning for me. And the problem with that is you're talking to somebody who don't normally go to bed till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I figure tomorrow I'm going to get about 4 hours sleep, get up about 8 a.m. and go all day with, that and go to bed probably midnight tomorrow night just to get my days and nights straightened back out. Yeah. I think I had those pins on that bow. I had just completely adjusted wrong. Um, I think that might have been part of the issue I had. That and like I said, the bowstring kept hitting me in the arm, just tearing my arm all to pieces. And I know they make those little pad things you can put on your arms to cover a brace or whatever it is. Um, but all the guys that was, even the guy that gave me the bow was telling me, he says, you don't need that. If you hold the bow right, you don't need it. And I was like, well, how in the hell do you hold it? Yeah, well, I figured that out fairly quickly. I'd fire a few shots, get that arm good and red, and put the thing down for a little while, then try to get a little later after the stinging went away. And it gives you an appreciation of how people in years back hunted. Because you got to figure, man, one of them damn recurve bows slapping your arm like that would hurt like a bitch. I mean, it hurt pretty bad with a compound bow. But man, with a recurve, that would have to suck because it's a lot more power coming forward. Ah, well, you know what? Years later, I'd watch my brother-in-law shoot his bow, and he was pretty damn good. He was really good, and he never even gripped the bow. He would pull the string back and keep his hand completely open and just let the bow rest between his thumb and middle finger, and then release when he was ready. Of course, he didn't use his fingers. I did. He had this trigger release thing. But it was an experience. Believe me. Yeah, man. That's how he done it. I mean, he just basically let the tension of the bow hold itself where he wanted it, and as he released, he'd or just after he released, he'd grab it, keep it from falling. I guess. I don't know. This seems a whole lot easier to shoot it with a gun, and that gun's got an even faster follow up shot than your bow. So, especially if that gun's an AR. Hey, Georgia, what's going on, buddy? You folks must be bored today hanging out with me. Kind of weird. I figured there'd be something going on today, but I figured people are trying to get the last little bit of summer in before it gets so cold outside you can't do crap. Then again, around here we don't really have to worry about that until mid-December. Starts to cool down a little bit in late November. Now, January, February gets a bit chilly around here. And last year, we even had some snow, which is weird. Not something I'm accustomed to, nor do I like, is snow. Oh, apparently, Ghost got his Walther in the mail from FFL. Bet he's excited about that. Whatever happened with that with you, Clover? Did you figure out what was going on there? Hey, David, what's going on? Oh, I tell you what, David, in West Virginia, where I grew up, um, there's a lot of roads going through mountains, as you could imagine, and some of those mountains are just rock cliffs. And in the winter, it would snow, and then it'd warm up a little bit, and that snow would start melting. And then we'd get a deep freeze, and the whole side of the mountain where those rocks are, it looks like a great big sheet of ice. It's beautiful. But it sucks on the roads because once that stuff starts melting off again and runs into the road, you're screwed. There's just places you do not take a vehicle because it ain't nothing but ice. Of course, yeah, that's pretty much it. Here we get ice and slush and nasty. The same in Georgia. Then again, I have seen some pretty raunchy snowstorms up in Georgia too. I remember a bad one several years back. I think it was like 91, 89, 90, 91, somewhere around. Man, it was 72 degrees one day. Stayed at a friend's house. I had been wearing a short sleeve shirt, pair of holy ass jeans, I was a kid. Went to sleep, woke up the next day, and there was 3 or 4 inches of actual snow on the ground in Georgia. And the temperature had dropped to below 30. And I was like, holy shit, what is this? And I had to walk home with no jacket, no shit. I was, you know, you come to the South to avoid that shit. Yet, ladies and gentlemen, I will say this: God has a sense of humor. Hey, Rich, what's going on, buddy? Rich, if you'd like to jump in here for a few minutes, I've got the link posted over on the Gun Channel side. I ain't gonna run it too long because, like I said, Rick's life is coming up in a few minutes, and I am not gonna fork him. I try to avoid doing that sort of thing. It happens from time to time, but like I said, I do my best to avoid it. And global warming is making the world colder. Yeah. Amazing how that happens. Yeah. Guys, I still don't buy into the whole global warming shit.
Yeah, who the morons? That's who.
Yeah, exactly. They're freaking idiots.
Yeah. That's good. Me. I was working on a bracket to do for my show tomorrow night because I ain't in the mood to talk politics or guns tomorrow because I'm not feeling well still. So I'm just gonna do a bracket tomorrow. So,
Man, what kind of guns are you doing a bracket on?
and not guns. I was gonna do 80s power ballads actually.
80s power ballads. Oh dear
Yeah.
God.
When I just got out of the shower, right, and I had my two-in-one up there because I listened to Amazon Music Service through my Prime membership, and I'm in the shower, and Faithfully from Journey came on. I was like, now there's something I can do tomorrow. So,
Well, and how many songs have you came up with so far for your bracket?
I got it filled at 16. I just got to find a site where I can get the bracket to put it together.
Well, you should have asked because I could give you one. Hold on a minute, I'll send you a link.
Right.
I don't do a whole lot of the brackets on my show, but I have done a few for the wrestling thing. You should take a look in the side chat. Right there is the best place I found to go get one.
Yeah, I think I was one of the ones I was looking at already.
Yeah, you can fill them out, edit them, and
Yeah,
you don't even have to download anything. You do it all right there on the page.
yeah, that's one of the one. That's what I was looking at. So that one, and there was another one I was looking at. So yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I got. There's actually some songs that I was going to put on there. People probably don't even realize were power ballads, technically speaking. You know.
Oh well, it's if you don't expect shit like that from some bands, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I think all the bands that I have, you could see them doing one, but you might not think of the song itself as one.
here's the thing though, if you certain bands like Bon Jovi,
Yeah,
dude, in the '80s, that's about all they had.
they're on the list.
Oh, I'm sure. Living on a Prayer.
"Living on a Prayer" is not a power ballad.
Well, depends on how you look at it.
"Never Say Goodbye" is a power ballad.
Yeah.
That's the one that's on the list. Same album, different song.
So let's hear this wonderful list of power ballads you've got
The ones
there.
I got, the
Yeah.
16 I came up with,
Yep.
obviously "Faithfully" by Journey. You can't have a list of power ballads from the 80s and not have Journey on the list, right? "Jet City Woman" by Queensryche. "Love Bites" Def Leppard. "Patience" Guns N' Roses. "I Want to Know What Love Is" Foreigner. "Sister Christian" Night Ranger. "Angel" Aerosmith. "With or Without You" U2. "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" Poison. Already said the Bon Jovi one. "Sweet Child of Mine" Guns N' Roses. "Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone" Cinderella. "I Remember You" Skid Row. "When the Children Cry" White Lion. "Dreams" by Van Halen, and "Bringing on the Heartbreak" Def Leppard.
Yeah. 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 And the thing about it is, you've got one band on there twice.
We got two bands on there twice.
Yeah. Well, and I love Patience and I love Sweet Child of Mine.
Both were number one. They both had to go on.
Two of my Yep. Two of my favorite songs from one of my favorite bands.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, Guns N' Roses is man, they're just amazing. And I still say to this day, Appetite for Destruction is one of the greatest albums ever to been produced.
Yeah,
Period.
and the dilemma I had was whether to include 1990 with the 80s, because technically, before everybody started listening to Prince, who was telling everybody that 1999 was the last year of the 20th century, when it wasn't. If you learned to count, it wasn't. Everybody got it wrong. But 1990 would have been the last year of the 80s, technically speaking, because the calendar didn't start at year zero; it started at year one. People, to go 10 years, you got to go to the next to that 90. The 80s did not end until December 31st, 1990. But that's neither here nor there. So I was tempted. I really debated on that one because I really wanted to put High Enough by Damn Yankees on there. But even though they formed Damn Yankees in '89, the song didn't come out till '90.
Mhm.
And
I don't know.
another,
You could run that again for the '90s. You realize that, though, right?
yeah, but I really wasn't big on a lot of the stuff that came out in the '90s. So. And another one I debated on was Jet City Woman by Queensryche or Another Rainy Night by Queensryche. Both of them great songs off the Empire album.
Hmm. Okay. So, what time is your show tomorrow night?
8.
8. Well, you'll have
Yep.
to send me a link. I won't be working tomorrow night. So,
Yeah, I haven't been because you've been working, but I get you starting that new job. So
yeah. Oh, I took this whole week off.
okay,
I took the whole damn week off.
you
They
took
owe,
you
they,
took
they owe,
as your last week. Is that what you did?
yeah, well, see, they owed me a week's vacation anyway because I have been there well over a year now. And I figured, well, I ain't going to get that week's vacation. So, and I don't want to just jump into a job, you know, from one job to another job and lose that week. So I said, well, I want to lose it anyway. So just take a week off and, you know, start that next new job next week. And plus, that gives me time to get my days and nights from being all screwed up. Because, like I said, my whole schedule's gonna have to change. Hey, Black Cat, what's going on, brother? Uh, RL, I've got a link sitting over on the Gun Channel side if you want to jump in here. And Ozzy, you're more than welcome to jump in too if you'd like. Hell, if anybody wants to jump in, the link's sitting over there. Come on. I used to post it over on the YouTube side, and once or twice I got some.
Yeah, you do that, you end up with an LMB Pro chat.
Yeah.
You have seen that first one of his, right?
Oh yeah.
I still don't know what the highlight of that one was. Bob calling Yankee wanky. I mean, a wanker, and then I started the whole wanky thing after that. Or Smeggy almost getting his ass beat in the bar.
This is why I don't go to bars. This is why I don't go to bars. Let me ask you something. Would you consider November Rain a power ballad?
Yeah, but that was '90s.
Yeah, I know it was. It came out in
But yeah,
'91.
definitely, and Don't Cry both would definitely be in the power ballads.
Don't you cry tonight.
And
Love
remember,
that
there's
song.
two different versions of Don't Cry.
Yes, there's one on Use Your Illusions 1 and a different one on Use Your Illusions 2.
Yep. So there's 3 of your songs for a '90s power ballad thing right there, right?
Yep. And all three from the same band.
Yep. And I might add, the only band to ever have an album at both number one. Well, one of only two bands to ever have an album at number one and number two on the Billboard charts simultaneously. The other band only did it once, and it was the Beatles. Guns N' Roses did it twice.
Yep. Guns N' Roses could have been so much more than what they became if they could have just ended the infighting. You know.
I'm going to say this as somebody that saw Guns N' Roses live at the height of their popularity. In fact, it was the Guns N' Roses Metallica tour. When Axl Rose was sober, the man could sing his heart out, right? When he was drunk, which was the majority of the time about the time that tour went on, he couldn't sing for shit. And guess which one we got in Pittsburgh at the Guns N' Roses Metallica?
He was drunk.
Yeah. My friends and I, we got up, and Metallica went on first. Faith No More went on first. They opened. Then it was Metallica, then Guns N' Roses. We left halfway through the Guns N' Roses show. Part of the show was so bad. It started out good, right? He rode out on stage, played November Rain. They played November Rain first song. He rode out to the stage on a Harley. Used the Harley as the piano bench. But as the show went on, he was drinking more and more as the show went on, and his singing got worse and worse.
Back in, I think it was 91, 92, somewhere in that area, I had tickets, damn good tickets. I think it was in the first 5 rows. I can't remember what it was. In Atlanta for a Guns N' Roses Metallica concert. I had the tickets in my hand, dude. I gave them away and went fishing.
Wow. The concert of the early 90s, probably the only other thing I could think of that would have been bigger than that for at that time period would have been if you got tickets to the concert for like the Freddie Mercury tributes. I mean, what were you thinking,
man? Catfish. That's what I was thinking of. Catfish. Well, you know, at the time, I was thinking, okay, you know, it's not like Guns N' Roses is going anywhere. You know, the biggest band, you know, in the last 20 some years. And well, I was wrong. It wasn't long after that they split up, and you didn't hear from them for many years.
After that, if you remember, after that, they put out another album that got the Spaghetti Incident, which was a bunch of punk albums. And then that one song from the 50s, early 60s, I can't remember which one it was. We did cover that too.
Yeah. I was not a fan of Spaghetti, and most people weren't, as far as I know.
I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad. It was different. I think that's the problem. It was different. It wasn't their usual stuff.
Well, I liked the Lies album. I loved Appetite. I didn't like Use Your Illusions 1 nearly as much as I did Use Your Illusions 2. Use Your Illusions 2 had the better songs on it, in my opinion. Spaghetti was and then what was the next one after Spaghetti? Chinese Democracy?
Yeah, that was Axl Rose with a backing band.
Yeah, that was what, 4 or 5 years ago?
Because that album sucked. Sorry, Ben, but it's true.
Yep, it is.
Democracy is a steaming pile of shit.
If I would like to see them get back together, do another album, and do it like they used to do it in the 80s and 90s, and actually have Axl get out there and do what he does. The problem with that is Axl's older now, and his voice is not what it used to be. I think all that screaming and yelling has screwed something up because he does not sound the same as he used to.
Look at Steven Tyler. You listen to early Aerosmith and listen to later Aerosmith. Steven Tyler doesn't sound the same either because he actually pulled one of his vocal cords and changed his voice. If you listen to Bob Dylan, early Bob Dylan compared to later Bob Dylan, his voice changed. It's just something that happens depending on how you sing.
Well, see, I was never a Bob Dylan fan.
I've been a Bob Dylan fan. My mother was. So,
Hearing that man sing makes me want to pull my damn hair out.
the thing is, Dylan could sing when he was first starting out. If you listen to his early album, he didn't have a bad voice. It was the issues with the way he sang that caused the issues with his vocal cords, where he started getting that more gravelly sounding tone to his voice.
I don't know. Um, you know, I don't listen to most modern music, most modern bands, because I just can't get into it, dude. I mean, it's just, um, I could probably not name you maybe one or two bands that came out in the last 10 years, maybe. I mean, that's just me. I'm stuck in the 80s, I guess, and early 90s. And it's not just with rock. I'm like that with country music, too.
Country music today is not country music. It's southern.
It's Southern rock.
It's not even true southern rock. I mean, they're trying to be and failing miserably.
Yeah, well, if you want Southern rock, they need to go back and listen to Leonard Skinner
Or the Allman Brothers.
or the Allman Brothers or CCR. That's Southern rock. You know, that is the epitome of what Southern rock was in the late 60s and 70s.
Fred's absolutely right out there. Country music now is country themed pop.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. I would say from the mid 80s to the mid 90s, country music was freaking awesome, man. It was great. And then something happened.
There's not a whole lot of country music that I actually do like. Waylon, Willie, Johnny, Chris, Travis.
Highwaymen.
Yeah.
Well, see, I go a little deeper than that. I mean, Travis Tritt, Alan Jackson, Garth Brooks. These guys. Garth was a bit out there, but he was still traditional country.
Yeah, I only like one or two of Garth Brooks songs. One of them, when it came out, you went to a bar, everybody in the bar at some point started singing it. I'm sure you can probably guess which one.
Friends in Low Places.
Bingo.
Yep.
Everybody knew the words. Black dudes knew the words. The Asian people at the bar knew the words. Everybody knew that song. You want to talk about a crossover hit? That would probably be one of the ones at the top of the list.
Yep, probably. And the thing about it is, it wasn't even his best song. The Dance is a far better song.
And there's something about Friends in Low Places where people can relate to it,
Oh yeah. Yep. But you have to remember that in that time frame, there was some really, really good country music acts out there. And Alabama, it was still going strong. And they're one of my favorites of all time. I love Alabama.
Yeah.
Uh,
One of my favorites is Charlie Daniels Band. I'll say this. I'm on the record as saying this numerous times. The best rap song ever is "The Devil Went Down to Georgia."
did you just say the best rap song ever?
Yes, I certainly did. Listen to "The Devil Went Down to Georgia" and tell me he is not rapping in that song.
Wow. You know what? I've never thought of it that way. I've always said the best rap song ever was a song written by Confederate Railroad. The name of the song was "Rap is Crap." So I think that was the name of it. But no, it was "I Hate Rap" was the name of the song. I
Yeah,
hate.
I know what song you're talking about because there was, if you remember back in WCW, they had
Yeah, it
Kurt
was Kurt Hennig was doing the "Rap is Crap" and "I Hate Rap" was Confederate Railroad.
Yeah, they basically they were doing parody cover of it. It was him, Barry Windham. Who the hell else was it?
I can't remember.
I can't either.
But I have to, agree with him on that. I have never or ever been a rap fan. I've just never liked the crap. I mean, if you like it, more power to you. As for me, it's just not my deal, dude. At all. Okay, guys, it is 3:02. I'm going to jump off because Rick's Life, as I see it, is about to start. So
If it
you
hasn't
guys,
already.
you guys take care, and I will talk to you all later.
Later, folks.